3 times in the past year, I've had the sad occasion to have a friend lose a spouse through death, a car accident, a heart attack, and the other cancer. As I attended the visitation and the memorial service, I couldn't help but notice how many people seemed at a loss about what to say to their friend or coworker to bring comfort. Of course, just your presence shows concern, respect, and caring. Certainly a friend or coworker appreciates a warm hug or any act of kindness during such a difficult time. But when standing face to face in a receiving line or in a crowded room before or after the memorial service, you definitely want to say something meaningful or helpful. So first, state your feelings about the situation. By expressing your feelings, you're suggesting to your friend or your coworker or your family member that it's okay to share their feelings. They need to talk about their grief to begin the healing process or working through their sorrow. Your stating your emotions about the situation allows them to do the same. You can say something like, "I'm so sorry to hear of your dad's death," or "We were so shocked to learn about your brother's terrible accident," or "This makes me so sad for you," or "I know that you've been expecting this for some time since the cancer diagnosis, but I'm sure it's still very hard to have to let go after all these ups and downs, the hopes and the disappointments of so many clinical trials that she participated in." Do, however, avoid going into great detail about the exact nature of the death. That is, discussion of a sad accident or medical treatments. You never want to make the friend or the coworker relive the situation. Next, honor the loved one by recalling a positive memory. As part of the grieving process, loved ones need to talk about the person who's died. They want to know that others remember them fondly. You can help in their healing process by offering memories of their loved one as a way to honor them. So mention good times you've had together. Maybe comment on an admirable trait or recall a kind gesture that person did sometime in the past. The more difficult situation, however, is offering a comment about someone that you never really met personally. When that's the case, you can always share a observation secondhand. For example, to a coworker, you might say something like this: "I've heard you say so many times how supportive your dad always was when you told him you wanted to move across the country for a promotion with your job, even though that meant he wouldn't see you as often." Or you might say something like this: "Your sister must have been such a generous person to have spent so much time sponsoring the youth camps I've heard you talk about." You can also comment on how the friend or the coworker loved, served, or showed honor to the deceased. Often the person feels disappointed that they couldn't have prevented the death. Frequently, they even feel guilt over the death, no matter how illogical that is in the situation. Even when that's not the case, it's generally a good idea to share any observations you have about how well the one that's left loved, served, or honored their loved one. Some examples: "I know it must give you a great deal of satisfaction to remember how often you spent your weekends with your mother these last 2 years when she needed you the most during these treatments." Or something like, "I've heard you say that you rarely ever missed Steve's football games, not when he played through all high school or college, nor afterwards when he started coaching. That's some commitment. I know he must have loved having you in his cheering section all those years." Also, you could offer to help in some specific way, if, that is, your offer is sincere. If you're willing to bring food, babysit, drive family members to and from an airport, run errands, or whatever, make the offer specific. Avoid vague offers such as, "If there's anything I can do, please let me know." Such vague gestures sound insincere. When your friends or your coworkers face difficult times, Make sure that you know exactly how to communicate your concern and your care. Saying nothing at all only adds to their emptiness and sorrow.